Good morning, good morning. It's Tim back here again. You may remember me from Grenada when we made nutmeg ice cream with, what did I make? Oh, the pumpkin, the sweet potato pone or pone. Well, I'm back and I'm bad, and today we've moved on through the alphabet a little bit and we're on to Guinea in West Africa. And I don't know about you, but I have spent quite a lot of time wondering why there are so many countries in the world that have Guinea in them. I mean, there's Equatorial Guinea, there's Guinea-Bissau, there's the Guinea that we'll be doing today, and I'll talk about that in a minute, and then there's also Papua New Guinea. So I did the sensible thing, I did a Goog, and it turns out, and I probably should have known this, that West Africa is, or was known, the whole region was known as Guinea. So that makes sense of the Guinea-Bissau, Equatorial Guinea and Guinea. But when early colonizers went down to the South Pacific and they discovered Papua New Guinea, it reminded them of West Africa. So hence the name New Guinea. I thought that was quite interesting. Put a little worry for me to bed, which is good. Anyway, today we are, as I say, we're looking at Guinea, West Africa, and West Africa is often quite tricky because it's not a part of the world that, even though it was colonized by the French, it's not a part of the world that traditionally is very excited about desserts. And so I struggle a bit to find new desserts for West Africa. I have found a nifty one today, but there is no doubt that it is inspired by French colonialism because, well, you'll see. What I'm making today is, I'm going to give it to you in French so that you can be wowed by my amazing French language skills. It is called a tart caramélisée au mango et banane, which roughly translates as a caramel, mango and banana tart. I haven't made this before. We'll be making it, live in front of your eyes. But it reminds me very, very much of a classic tartin. In fact, I would say this is probably a mango and banana tartin. Very simple, divine, and the representative of Guinea in West Africa. So, I have done a slight cheaty, not cheaty, but just to make things easier for the vid here, for the YouTube. I have already made the pastry for the top/bottom of the tart. That was made, it's very simple dough, 160 grams of flour, it's 80 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons of sugar and an egg yolk and about a tablespoon of ice water. I put it all together, in the way that you should. Don't overdo it, don't overwork it, and it's been in the fridge for about an hour. You probably know that the reason we put it in the fridge is to allow all the gluten strands to settle, so it makes it so when you cook it, the pastry doesn't shrink, the moisture is sort of evenly distributed, and yeah, it's easier to roll too. So I know I find sometimes, particularly when I'm in a hurry, I get a bit shirty about having to let my pastry rest, but there is a rhyme and it is definitely worth doing. Okay, so that's in the fridge. We'll get back to that in a minute. What we're going to work on, half a sec, I'm going to get me a cup of tea, because we can't cook without a cup of tea. We're just brewing here. Give me 2 seconds. I know this isn't good telly. Dick will edit it out, won't you, Dick? There we go. There's me cuppa. Lovely. This is that amazing tea that Raw sends me from Boston. The stuff that was thrown in by the angry colonists when the English tried to apply that tea duty. How could we have done that? What stinkers! What rotters! Well, we let you have it, America, and it's all gone to pot, hasn't it? I like winding Americans up. I don't know why I am American, but I guess I'm just a winder-upper. Okay, so we need a baking tin like this. This is about, I guess it's about 9 or 10 inches, 22 centimeters. It has to be both oven and stove proof. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to slap some butter in there. You want 30 grams of butter. Oh, I think that might be 30 grams right there. I'm going to give it a quick weigh. Give me a sec whilst I weigh it, because I get very excited about using up last little bits and bobs of stuff. Oh, yes, that will work perfectly. So, little things please little minds, eh? Am I all right? Am I in the picture? I sort of feel like I might need to squat down a bit. It's my huge height, you see. At least 6'4" I am. And, all right. So there's the butter, and into the butter I need to put some sugar. 110 grams of sugary sugar. Let me see, how am I going to do that? I'm going to get my measuring jug here, and I'm going to put 110 grams in here, and let's see what we can do here. Lovely, lovely. Ooh, I overdid it a bit. Never mind. Ooh, I really overdid it. Bit more. Oh, for goodness sake. There we go, 110. And what we're going to, this is going to form our caramel. So I'm going to heat the butter. I'm not going to heat it too hot. Oh, it's instantly melting. How exciting it is. Can you see me? I'm worried my head's getting chopped off. Maybe I'll just move this back a tiddly widdly bit so that. Oh, I don't know if that's helping. Is that helping? Very DIY. Oh, careful of me butter. It's sizzling. Oh, that's much better. Look at me. I don't have to crouch. Okay, I'm going to turn that down because that's getting excited very quickly. There we go. I am going to, whilst this is melting, I'm going to turn the stove on, stove, oven, cooker to 390 centigrade, which is about 200 Fahrenheit, I think. Pretty impressive, hey? That I can do all these quick manoeuvres between metric and imperial. I'm trilingual in that regard. Okay, that is looking very nice. And I am going to pour in my sugar, give it a little, well, I'm going to spread it out rather than giving it a stir. I want to let that caramelize gently. Whilst I'm caramelizing, I'm going to get my bananas and mangoes dealt with. You only need 2 bananas. I don't know about you, but I cannot stick an underripe banana. And these are quite nice and ripe. The riper they are, the tasty they are, and invariably we put a few that get too ripe into the freezer so that they go nice and black and are fantastic for they're fantastic for making banana bread or anything that requires a nice ripe nana. Okay, so 2 nanas. Doesn't matter if they're a bit brown because they're going to get cooked. Ooh, into the compost for those naughties. You're going to cut them in half that way, like that, so it's half, and then you're going to cut it lengthways as well. And those, just giving lots of nice surface area to get lots of the caramel over them. So you will end up with 8 sort of long pieces of banana. I'm now going to peel me mango. Mango. Supposedly, you probably know this, mangoes are the most, whoopsie, what's going on here? I'm going to give it a little bit of a stirry. Probably shouldn't, but I don't want it to burn. Looking good. No, come on. It's looking nice. Starting to get some colour. The cooker is on quite low right now, just so you know. Okay, yeah, mangoes. Apparently, there's more mangoes eaten in the world than apples, which is kind of boggles my mind a bit. But there's nothing like a mango. And I guess when you get into tropical parts of the world, you know, there's all sorts of different ways of eating mango. There's green mangoes, unripe mangoes, little very tasty sweet mangoes, more soury mangoes. I wish I was slightly more of an expert. I think that's Hattie coming back. Hattie? Hattie's back. My love, I'm just in the middle of doing some cooking here, just so you know. And yeah, we used to eat lots and lots and lots of mangoes when we lived in Malaysia. Ooh, tropical fruits. Mangosteen, what else are big there? Dragon fruit, and of course, whatchamacallit, durian. Woo! Smells like an house, tastes like raspberry blancmange. Okay, so that's me first. How are we doing here? Oh, this is coming up nicely. I'm doing it very slowly though. I don't want it to go too far, and it's coming along. I might just turn it up a tiny bit. So slicing a mango, as you know, I'm going to get that out of the way. As you know, the pit runs sort of lengthways. I find the easiest way is to cut it down the lengthway of the pit so that you get two nice big bits of mango and then sort of etch around the side. If you know a better way, please do tell me, because I know that there has to be a better way than this. Anyway, there is one mango done. I don't put the pits in the compost because they just stay like pits. You're going to take your mango like this and you're going to slice it into lengthways pieces. Coming back to me. Oh, how we do. Oh mon Dieu, c'est formidable parce que maintenant je parle en français. Ah, je sais, ma français c'est malheureusement, c'est pas bien, c'est yeah, it's not good. Okay, that's looking really divine. Okay, let's quickly get these mangoes dealt with. Once your caramel is sorted out, you can take it off the heat. That's fine. And actually, do you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm not even going to bother to take it off the heat. I'm going to put all my fruit straight in. Here we go. All sizzly wizzly. Let's get the tomato, not tomatoes, what do you call these things? Bananas. Bananas, in you go. Spread them out so everybody gets a bit of banana once the tart is made. There we go. Yum yum bubbly gum gum. There. And that will do. And then I'm going to cut a bit lacking in the mango department. So I'm going to do one more, if you will bear with me. Whilst I'm doing that, I was lucky when I first left high school. I got to go on, one of those life-changing trips as a teenager. I went with a pal from school, Neil Lawson, and we hitchhiked across the Western Sahara, on the back of all sorts of wacky vehicles. One was a date truck. It just had sacks and sacks and sacks of date. I can't really look at a date to this day because Neil and I wiggled our finger into one of the Hessian sacks and fed on dates for, I think, a couple of days. It made us, well, gave us very bad gastric issues, but also just enough's enough. That was a lot of date action. And I remember, you know, as we were on the back of these various vehicles, you have to understand there's no road across the Sahara. They call it piste. And piste is, well, a piste is like a track, and the track is a mile long, and a mile wide. And along this piste, you see the burnt-out shells of just hundreds and hundreds of cars that have got stuck in the sand. And you know, there's no there's no AA or AAA or anybody to come and help you. So what happens is all of the parts are taken away, loaded onto a truck, and taken to the next oasis town so they can be sold. But if you get stuck in the sand, you're stuffed. Well, I mean, you can get a lift, obviously, on to the next one. Anyway, so we went through. I'm trying to think. We went across from Morocco into Algeria. We then went the length of Algeria. Oh gosh, that is looking very, very good. Do you know, I'm not going to bother stirring it, because with a tartine, what happens is you cook it this way up, and then once it's cooked, you turn it over so that the crust is on the bottom and the fruit is on the top, and all that gorgeous caramel that's on the bottom of the pan at the moment will go on the top and then squidge down. Okay, so that is that. Let me just have a quick look. It does. Oh, I'm missing a few things here. I need to put a tablespoon of rum in, which I have, thankfully. Oh, open bottle. That's a bit of a crime. But my hands are gooey. Give me a tick. Give me a tickanini. There we go. And so that's that done. Pop that over my shoulder. Give us a bit of that. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon, but you know, give as much as you fancy, really. That's probably a very generous tablespoon. And then I'm going to put a bit of vanilla. I do, you know, ideally you should put a vanilla bean. And I know I'm not doing that, but this is pretty good vanilla extract. So I think it's going to be all right. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that in. Don't overdo it. You know that's a mistake. And I'm also going to put a tiny bit of, just a tiny sprinklet of nutmeg. There we go. Oh, it's bubbling away and looking just so scrumptious. Good stuff. Clean the decks, Tim. Clean the decks. Don't like a messy deck. All right. Done that. Okay, now I am going to, I think I'm going to take that off the heat now, turn the stove off, and I'm going to get to my pastry. Give me a sec, I need a slurp. Oh yeah, lovely cuppa. Okay. That'll do me. So here comes the pastry. Ready. There we go. Gosh, I look like I know what I'm doing. There's my head. So there's my pastry. I'm going to sit that there. I'm going to get my Chinese rolling pin. Oh, I love my Chinese rolling pin. It's tiny. See? Because this is for making little wonton wrappers, noodles, not noodles, what do you call them? not pot stickers, I can't remember. The things they make for Chinese New Year, they're called dumplings. I knew I'd get that. This is a little bit firmer than I would like it. It's not, I mean, I can let it sit. If I had time, I would let it sit to get a bit cooler, but it's working all right. So just a slightly sweetened dough this is. As I say, with an egg yolk, it's going to make it simply divine. And this, once I've rolled it, ooh, I've got a stickiness going on. I'm going to have to put that under there. Can you see? Are you still seeing me? Oh, you are, good. And roly, roly, roly. I would say probably to about 1/4 of an inch. Quite thick, this one. Come on. Come to Papa. Okie dokie. Looking good. And I think that'll do us. So I'm now going to bring over my mangoes and bananas over to here, and I am going to try and do something crafty. Can I do this? There you go. Hopefully this won't balls up on me. It might. Stand by for balls up. Woo! Look at that. Like I know what I'm doing. All right, there you go. So this is the top at the moment, but as I say, will become the base once it's cooled and turned over. So I'm going to put this in the oven at 390. That's 200 centigrade, 390. Oh, I got it wrong. No, 200 centigrade, 390 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to put it in there for half an hour, 30 minutes. And what I will do is I will post this on Facebook, and we will also post it on YouTube. We have a YouTube site. It's called Just Desserts. I'm hoping you can come and be a whatever it is you are. You become a member or sign up? I don't know. Anyway, we'll work it out. And that is it. I will definitely post pictures. And if you have any questions, try and get a hold of me. I promise you I will make it easier. It's been a slice, and thanks so much for watching. Take care, everybody. Hasta la pasta. Bye!